What's the difference between a dream and reality? It's pain. It's common when absurd things happen for people to pinch themselves to check if they're dreaming. The pain brings you back to reality. In the Matrix films, they said the humans rejected the first Matrix as it was too perfect. They would only accept a world with flaws and suffering. It's illogical to think you'd feel pain in a dream, but I've felt pain in dreams before. Woke up still feeling the pain. I've also smelled, touched, and tasted things. I've even read something, looked away, looked back, and the writing didn't change. Dreams don't follow rules. A cliche ending to films is they woke up and it was all a dream. Because it works. It's also a disappointing ending because it's been done to death. To the point where I wouldn't be surprised if we died and then woke up to find it was all a dream and we're doing something else somewhere else. Then it would make sense why it's such an overdone ending. Infinity times reincarnation means we come back as everyone that's ever been. And it's happened every time we've lived. We died, woke up, something else was happening, and we're in our new life. It's like that old saying, how can I be sure that I'm a man dreaming I'm a butterfly and not a butterfly dreaming I'm a man? Just because we can feel pain here doesn't mean that we are definitely not dreaming. Could just be experiencing dreams without pain, so that when we wake up from those dreams, we experience this dream with pain, and we believe that this is a reality. It could just be the secondary dream, the dream state with either fixed consequences or a changing memory that keeps up to date with all of the things that contradict to make sure that either you don't notice them or they don't happen. So I guess the answer to how do you know if you're dreaming is you don't, and you never will. There's never going to be a time in which you could have 100% confirmation that this isn't a simulation that we're living in. And a dream is the most natural form of simulation, as you're simulating events that could be real and experiencing them as if they are. I think that it's important to know that we can't know. Once you realize that you can't get a confirmed answer either way, because even if you did, you could get the answer and then wake up and that was all a dream. Knowing what you can't know is very useful information. It helps you to free your mind. You're no longer restricted by these limits that are set by this expectation that you have that things can only go a certain way. It's dealing with God and the Creator and Mother Earth or Mother Nature. I don't think there's much out there that isn't possible. Or at least possible within a simulation. And if we are the one soul in this universe, then we have access to being able to control that simulation. But we won't get any closer to being able to, of the mindset that things are fixed one way or the other. Everything has deniability. There'll always be a possibility that you could move into that space, make those things happen, and gain that experience. I dare say there'll be consequences, but is that because you believe in consequences? There was a video that I saw years ago of a dad. He'd taken his daughter out into the woods, and he was holding her in the air, and he took his hands away and she was flying. But someone had filmed the event, and as they realized that they were being filmed, she suddenly dropped out of the sky. Until that moment, she managed to float. This could purely be on the power of belief. And as soon as that other person turned up, that cast doubt upon the whole situation, which then meant that the situation could no longer manifest. On that note, if you have something that you are trying to do in life, it's best not to tell anyone. It's just on the off chance that they don't believe in you. That will make it harder for your reality to manifest for you. It's also, I don't think, anywhere near as simple as just sitting there saying something to yourself over and over again until you believe it. I think the fact that you need to sit there and say something to yourself to get yourself to believe something is quite strong evidence to suggest that you don't actually believe that thing, and thus far it won't work. It's kind of like the people who go to church and put money in the collection plate, and they genuinely believe that they're going to be saved by Jesus. But then, if Jesus was just going to come and save you, then what's the point in you being here? I mean, yeah, it's a nice experience, I guess, to be saved by your Savior, but there's not much of a point. You've not really learned anything. You just learned that you can sit and wait for someone else to do it for you. Like, in order to manifest something, you kind of have to be moving in that direction. Give it a helping hand. You can't just be dabbling with it. You have to really know in your heart of hearts that if you dream it, you can do it. And then the only thing stopping you from having that dream is you. If you can focus your thoughts on something for long enough, you can manifest it. That is true. That happens when you have worries. Worrying is like praying for what you don't want to happen. And these things will manifest if that's where your attention is focused on, as that's what brings things to being. Or if you don't believe that it is, well, then I'm afraid for you it isn't. Because your mind will never open to that point where you'll be able to gain that experience unless you change your way of thinking. I find that sometimes the best thing to do is to not think, just try and remove all of your judgments, all of the prejudgments you have based on educated guess, but it's that education that's going to stop you from the manifestation. I guess it's time for me to go off to bed now. See if I can dream it. I'm sure I can do it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.